Good afternoon, Americans. This is your favorite alien and Bubba, sitting in for Paul Harvey today on June 23rd. Redoing a video that didn't load right the other day on Mr. Paul Harvey's commentary on the way that civilizations get faltered. And this is his favorite commentary was on the 16th Amendment. And he mentioned the 14th and the 1st and the 2nd. Well, with the 16th, if you look at the 16th Amendment, that allows the United States government to tax you any which way they want. Now, that includes anything you have. Your wages, whatever you get for disability, whatever you get for Social Security, whatever you get for investments. Say you have stocks in there and you want to do a trade, well, that gets taxed. And more than that, your inheritance. Heck, if they even go any further, like the other civilizations before the United States have, you'll get taxed for going to the bathroom. You'll get taxed for using a road. You do that right now. You go to special places like Kansas, I-35, when you reach Kansas border from Oklahoma, you got to pay a toll road. Here in Atlanta, I-75, you got express lanes, and you got to pay it. You used to have a toll on Georgia 400 here. They took that down, but, they'll bring it back up again eventually. I mean, toll roads are going to be that. The Romans and the Americans will probably do this, and instead of fighting the prostitution issue, hey, tax them. You're going to go to work, you can pay a tax. You got to use I-75 or something like that, you got to pay a tax. The Romans did that every time. You look at the records from the Romans. Even prostitutions, they had a certain tax. You were a merchant, you paid this type of tax on the same road. You could pay $1 here, a prostitute paid $2, somebody else paid $4. Well, the Americans can do that because the 16th Amendment, there's no limit on how much they can tax you. Like I said, they can tax you for going number 1, number 2. And this is what Mr. Harvey was complaining about. You drink water, you get taxed. You use your television, you get taxed. Well, you got fees on TV right now, don't you? Yeah. Well, see what he's saying? Also, he was complaining about the 14th. The 14th Amendment allows the corporations to be people and be above the law. And the way the Supreme Court has interpreted the 14th, in the old days, they allowed Jim Crow laws to exist. Then when they started going the other way, Jim Crow laws had to go. Now you got it the other way, where you got the freedom of speech from the First and the Second Amendment out there, which have no limits either. By the way, those two amendments were never ratified. They were just summarily said, okay, they're there. Not like the other amendments. The third through the on amendments, you had to go through the states, you had to get them ratified, but the first and the second, no. Congress didn't want to deal with them, so they just said, okay, you want them, you got them. And that's the same with the 16th. The 16th went over there because it was the radical Republicans. They needed money. Big time. So this is what Mr. Harvey was complaining about. And I can see his complaint. Speaking as an alien here, wow. You guys are the most heavily taxed nation on this planet right now. Kind of similar to the Romans. And remember what happened to the Romans? They taxed themselves to death. So they decayed from the inside out. That's what you guys are doing, decaying from the inside out. And you Americans, I don't understand it. You allowed the 16th Amendment for a century and a half now, and you haven't growled about it? You haven't growled on the 14th, and you haven't growled on the 1st and 2nd. Well, you see, anti-guns, pro-guns, and the first, free speech, we need free speech. Really? You can have speech up to a certain limit, but tweets? Defamation of character on the television? AOC calling different people this and that? President Trump saying, oh, uh, we can be friends with Iran? That could be defamation of character there. Well, you see what I mean, Americans, and this is what Mr. Harvey was trying to harp, although it fell on deaf ears. This is your favorite American alien and Bubba sitting in for Paul Harvey today. Good day.